Today we're going to work with the metal element, which is in Chinese medicine, it's like related to the season of autumn and to the lung and the large intestine meridians. So just to begin today, you can either lie down, like if you're tired or the body just needs a bit of a rest, you can start class on your back, whatever support you need, or you can start up in a seated position. If you are seated, it's better to have something underneath the sit bone so that the hips are a little bit higher than the knees. I like to sit like this, so you can be cross-legged if you like. And then just making sure you've got your 2 blocks or books, just something to support you. We won't need as many props today. And then a blanket if you want for warmth or to pad your knees. Else you're really want to say hello today. And then otherwise just a water if you like. So just settle in, make yourself comfortable. So taking support underneath the body. And if it's comfortable for you, just closing down the eyes. And if that doesn't feel so comfortable, you can just soften the gaze. Just allow the body to begin to come to slow down, just to arrive where you are. So making any adjustments to feel supported, feel comfortable, so you can find a sense of stillness. Consciously allowing yourself as to arrive in your practice, in the room that you're in, on your mat. And as best as you can, beginning to let go of the day and the week so far. From here, we'll bring the awareness into the room that you're in, noticing any sounds that are around you. It's music, the sound of my voice. Just noticing and allowing for those sounds. And from there, just bringing your awareness in a little closer to the body. Just noticing the sensation of the air against the skin. And from there, noticing the support of the floor underneath you, or of the props supporting the body. Noticing the feeling of the floor and the earth holding you up, supporting you. Now we'll bring the awareness towards the breath. Just simply noticing without changing the breath. As you inhale, just noticing the detail, the sensation of the inhale breath. Just noticing the exhale, maybe the body just allowed to relax a little. More breaths like this, just noticing the inhale. The exhale, maybe the shoulders soften down away from the ears. And here we're going to come into 4 rounds of box breathing or square breath. If you've never done this one before, it's an inhale through the nose for 4, hold at the top for 4, an exhale for 4, and then a hold at the bottom for 4. So you can even visualize the square if you like. And if any of this breathing is too short or too long, you can also just adjust it to your breath and to your lungs as well. So to prepare, we'll take an inhale together. We'll exhale and empty the air. And we'll inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding 1, 2, 3, 4. And then take your 2 more rounds with your own breath. So time you can release that practice and just return to your natural breath. Just taking a moment here to notice how you feel. Just noticing any sensations in the body, any emotion. Without making this right or wrong, just using it as information to take in into your practice, just observing how you feel. From there, just tuning into if perhaps you have an intention for today's practice. So it could be something that you want to cultivate or work on, even something that you might like to let go of. And when you're ready, you can blink open the eyes. If you are down on the back, you can just take your time to roll onto your side and make your way up to seated. We'll begin seated for our first pose. So you may like to just adjust yourself a little if you were already seated. Just make sure that you're fairly comfortable, haven't got any little aches in the hips. So adjust yourself if you need. Again, with the hips elevated, if that feels comfortable. And then for our first pose, we're going to come to stretch into the back of the arms and into the shoulders. So we'll begin with the left arm. So you're going to bring it up and behind you and place that left hand in the middle of the shoulder blades behind the head. And then just to begin, take your right hand. It's a little bit of pressure down on that left elbow. So the sensation should be through the triceps, through the back of the arms, maybe even through the shoulder. And just start here, see if you can press your head back a little into the arm and open up through the chest. Find your breath here. So this is your first option. If this feels like enough for today, we will be here for 2 minutes. If you feel like you have the range or you want a little bit more, you can bring your right hand, bend the elbow, and then take that right hand behind the back. You may even want to touch or interlace the fingertips. Or you can just hold on to your clothes or keep them as they are. So a couple of options there. Just wanting to feel a bit of opening through the front of that or the back of that left arm. So you're welcome to try any option. You can come to change as you come through. And we'll be here for 2 minutes. So in Yin Yoga, it's really more important to feel the sensation in the body rather than what option you take or even really what it looks like. So for this one, just wanting to feel that sensation in the front of the back of the arm. Maybe a little opening through the chest. They're looking for 70 or 80% of sensation or range here. So coming to a point where you can feel sensation, but you can still breathe. So you feel like you've found that point. Our job is just to do our best to find stillness. Perhaps even closing down through the eyes. And then from there, we just return to the breath. Breathing in and out through the nose, keeping the breath slow and long. Relaxing the belly. From there, we allow the time and the gravity to do the rest. Keep your focus on the breath here. Just tuning into any sensations in the body that might be giving you a signal to come a little bit further or even back up. We'll take 2 more breaths here. When you're ready, you can slowly release the arms down. Just come to rest the hands down onto the body, maybe the thighs. Allow for a moment of rebound here. In our rebound, we allow our body to rest, to find stillness. This is time to notice how the body has responded to the pose. Quite normal to feel a sensation of warmth or even a flushing sensation, especially in the left arm. Or even a tension in the muscle, a feeling of vulnerability or tenderness in that tissue. We'll take 4 more breaths here, just noticing those sensations. And from here, we'll just take the hands to the shoulders and just rotate the elbows up, around, and down a couple of times just to bring some movement into that left shoulder and to prepare the right. Beautiful. And then we can reverse it as you bring the elbows forward, down to the floor, and out to the side. So just noticing how your shoulders feel today as well, the different side to side. Beautiful. And then we'll come over to the other side when you're ready. So we'll take that right arm up and over and take the palm in the middle of the back or the shoulder blades. And then now the left arm can just adjust that elbow a little bit, slight pressure down, and then thinking to push the head back into the arms, opening the chest a little here. Just knowing that you might want a different option on this side. And just seeing if this might feel like enough sensation. You may even like to try, if you want to bend that left elbow behind the body, place the left hand between the shoulder blade. And seeing what option this side might like. We'll be here for 2 minutes. So again here, finding that 80 or 70 or 80% sensation in that right arm. Again, if it's comfortable, closing down the eyes, finding some stillness. And you return your awareness to the breath, breathing in through the nose and down into the belly. In mind that at any time through your practice today, you're welcome to come to rest or change options anytime. Even ask me for another option if this one doesn't work for your body. Really what's most important as we move through our yin practice is, of course, to feel the sensation of the pose in the right place. Also to really begin to deeply listen into the body. So it's not often that we get the time and the space really just to listen in. No need to force the body today into anything. We'll take 3 more breaths here. When you're ready, you can slowly release the arms, bring them down again. In a moment of rebound with the hands down. Take 5 breaths here, just noticing the sensations in the right arm. Nice. So from here, we're going to come forward onto all fours. Just bring a bit of movement into the body after that amount of time sitting. So you can just take whatever props you had over to the side. And then come onto your hands and your knees. So having your shoulders underneath, your hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And then an option here, if it is comfortable, to begin to flip both wrists. And if that isn't, you're more than welcome to just keep the fingertips forward or even have them just out to the side. And wherever it feels comfortable for the wrist, we're going to take 5 rounds of cat and cow here. So as you inhale, drop the belly looking up. And then as you exhale, round the back, chin to chest. Inhale, dropping the belly. You can just take your time here, move with your breath. And then chin to chest and rounding. So the idea with flipping the wrists is to just begin to stretch into our forearms and through the wrists, as both our large intestine and lung meridian run through the arms and through the wrists. So one more in each direction. Cool. And then from here, you can just come to sit back onto your bottom, onto your heels for a moment, and we'll just give the wrists a little bit of movement if they need it. They were flipped, they may just feel a little bit tender. And then from here, we're going to come into a child's pose, but we'll do it without the bolster so we can just allow the body to ground into the floor. So for this one, you can take the knees wide, toes together, and then walking the hands forward. So the sensation for this one may be a little bit in the inner thigh, and it's also aiming to open the shoulders. So you can either place the chin to the floor or the forehead to the floor. And if this doesn't make any opening through the shoulders, you can also pop either a block or some pillows underneath the hands. And then as you sink down, that'll make a little bit more opening. So you can bring something under the hands if that feels better. Just see what feels better for your body here. And we'll just be here for a couple of minutes, just beginning to find the breath down into the belly and a little soft opening through the chest. In this pose, you can really feel as you breathe in, you're making space for the belly to really fill up as you breathe in. And as you exhale, you can allow the chest to soften into the floor, maybe the hips to become heavier towards the floor as well. So inhaling into the nose, all the way down into the belly. And exhale, softening the body into the floor. We'll take 5 more breaths here. From here, we're going to keep our legs in the same position, but just bring our hands and walk them slightly more towards us, just so the chest lifts. And we're going to come into a twist. So we're going to begin on the left. We're going to take the left palm up towards the roof, and it's going to come underneath that right shoulder. And so you're going to allow the left shoulder, maybe the left ear, or even the forehead to come to the floor. If the head is a bit uncomfortable, you could use a block to support. And so this is your first option. But if this is too strong on your shoulder, you could bring your hips up. So you'll be with your hips above your knees. So that will just take a bit of pressure off your shoulder. And if this is still too much, you could take that right leg out and begin to open yourself out to the right. This will bring it slightly more into the side of the body, but it will make it less painful on the shoulder. So try all of the options, see which works best. Just simply here, wanting to feel sensation in the front of the shoulder. Or if that's too strong, bringing your hips up above the knees, or even extending your right leg. And this one's called rolling panda when we open up. So just finding your option, and we'll be here for 2 minutes. So again, we find that 70 or 80% sensation. Find our stillness and return to the breath. So our lung and large intestine meridians are part of the metal element, which is related to the season of autumn. So a time in nature where the leaves are falling from the trees and falling to the ground as they begin to decompose, and from there they begin to nourish the roots of the trees for the next year to be absorbed over winter, and eventually, that nutrients come up through the tree and to be those new blooms in the spring. So in nature, it's really a time of shedding and of letting go. And this is also mirrored in the lung and in the large intestine. So in the lungs, we inhale the oxygen to nourish the body, to be sent out into the blood. And we exhale, let go of the carbon dioxide, the waste product of the body. So really the most simple and organic way we have of letting go is through the breath. We've got 3 more breaths here. And then whenever you're ready, you can very slowly move yourself back into your child's pose. We'll take a brief rebound here. If this is beginning to get uncomfortable for your hips, you're more than welcome to come to rebound for a moment down onto the belly. So please take your option here. Just noticing here any sensation in the left shoulder, maybe the left side of the body. Your body permission to slow down, to relax. And 3 more breaths here. From there, if you are on your belly, you can make your way back to your child's pose. And then we'll come into your twist on the other side. So you can just lift the chest a little bit. Now the right palm comes to the roof. It's going to thread underneath the left arm. And you can either just be here, right ear on the floor, left arm forward, finding the sensation in the front of the right shoulder. This is a little strong. You can bring those hips up above the knees. Again, you can either have the forehead or the ear to the floor. If that is too strong, again, you can just allow the left leg to roll out to the side and you begin to feel it a little more into the side body. Just finding your option here. Again, we'll be here for 2 minutes. And see if on this side, can you begin to use your imagination. And as you inhale, you can imagine breathing into the part of the body that you feel the most sensation. As you exhale, imagining that part of the body softening, letting go, maybe imagining the muscles lengthening. It's really directing the breath towards the sensation, and with the exhale, allowing it to let go a little more. The mind wanders away into thoughts or stories as it naturally will. Just allow that to happen, and like a spotlight, just bringing your attention back to the breath and the body. So we're not here to change our mind, but rather just to use our attention. And just bring our attention back to the breath, back to the body. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Or you can slowly make your way back, just unthreading that right arm. Now from here, we're going to rebound down onto the belly. So if it's comfortable for you, you can come onto the belly, take the arms by the side and an ear to the floor. Or if it's more comfortable, stack one hand over the other and forehead to the hand. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to rest on the back or on the side as well. We'll be here for a minute. The body permission to relax, to rest into the floor. Then just noticing the sensation in the right side of the arm. We'll take 5 more breaths here. Beautiful. And then slowly, when you're ready, you can take your hands underneath the shoulders. Slowly bring yourself up onto your hands and knees. And come to sit back onto the heels. And then we're going to come now to open into the chest, into a supported heart opener. So for this one, we'll use the bolster behind the heart. And then from there, you may want a block to support the head. So the block can be on a higher setting that'll really lengthen the neck, which might be nice. Or you can take it onto its middle setting, or if you want to open the neck more, you can either take it low or just remove it completely. I reckon start with one there, and then if you want to release it as you sink in, you're more than welcome. So you want the bolster or pillow to be behind the bra strap area or the back of the heart. You're going to lower yourself down, and then from there you use that block to support the head in whichever way you prefer. And then the legs can either go long, or if you prefer to work a little into the hips, you can go soles of the feet together and knees wide. And then from here, your arms can go simply out in line with the shoulders, or all the way up into like a wide position. So you're wanting to feel with this one, a sensation of opening a little through the front of the body, through the chest and through the front of the shoulders. So just take whatever adjustments you need just to make sure you feel supported. Begin to settle in here. I'm going to be in this one for 4 minutes. So please make sure you feel supported and comfortable. So in this pose, we're really working into our lung meridian, which runs from our thumb up the inside line of our forearm and into just below the collarbone. So working into that front of the chest. We're also making room in the body for the lungs and for an opening through the heart space as well here. As we've created more space for the breath here, an invitation to begin to deepen the breath. So as you breathe in through the nose, thinking about filling up the belly, the ribs, the chest, and the back. Releasing through the chest, the back, the ribs, and the belly. Inhaling into the belly, the ribs, the chest, and the back. Exhale, the chest folds, the ribs, back, and belly. Continuing with this deepened breath. A minute and a half left here. Each exhale, giving the body permission to let go, the muscles to relax, just allowing for the support of the flow. Knowing there's nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. We'll take 3 more breaths here. So come out of this one, taking your time, we'll bend the knees up to the roof, feet to the floor. You can use your hands to support the head. So you bring your chin to the chest, and you can slowly wiggle your way down the bolster so that you end up with the bolster as a pillow. So you're on your back, you can have your knees bent up, maybe feet wide, knees together. Place your hands on the belly or to the floor. Just taking a moment here to notice how you feel. The yin energy is an allowing energy. In our yin practice, we work to meet and allow any sensation, feelings, emotions. Allowing them to be there. Knowing that our awareness is like the blue sky. Thoughts, the feelings, the sensations, like this, the weather, the clouds going by. Knowing that they're just temporary. So we allow for them to be there. Ready? From there, we'll take a squeeze of the knees towards the chest. Just taking a little rotation side to side. And from here, we're just going to allow the legs to come long. And we're going to take the bolster or your pillows just beside the body on the right. So having it in line with the torso, so your ribs to your hips. Going to come into a twist. So we'll take the right leg long. And we're going to take the left knee up towards the chest. And then from there, we'll take that left knee up and over the bolster to the right. And then from there, we'll roll all the way over to the right side. And as you inhale, taking the left arm up and over and into your twist. So here you may want a block. So you may want a block underneath your knee if it needs a little bit more support, or if this back hand doesn't reach the floor, you could even place a block under there. So you want to feel quite supported in your twist. If it feels a little even too strong, you could just take the elbow to the floor and take the hand to the rib cage. So option here is to come to rest, and then the head can look to the right, up to the roof, or even all the way over to the left. Just making sure that you're not forcing the neck where it doesn't want to go. So finding your support here, finding a bit of sensation. You may feel this in your left hip, maybe the left rib cage, the front of the shoulder as well. And we'll be here for 3 minutes. Again, finding your stillness, closing down the eyes if that feels comfortable. Noticing the inhale as the chest rises, the ribs expand, belly, allowing the body to surrender into the twist as you exhale. Our large intestine also has a role of letting go in the body. Also letting go of the things that aren't needed, the waste products of the body as well. If you think of metal as a substance, it's quite refined. Through the process of letting go, we can refine things. Letting go of what isn't needed so that other things can come to life. Even just so we can feel lighter and more refined ourselves. Yourself to let go with each exhale. Got 1 more minute here. You're ready, you can slowly move that left knee back to the chest. Maybe take a moment to squeeze both knees in. And allowing the legs to come long, we'll roll the bolster up and over our body or your pillow, just placing it on your left side now. And then when you're ready, we'll allow the left leg to go long, the right knee to come up to the chest. And we'll bring that right knee up and over to the left, over whatever support you have, blanket, bolster, and taking a roll over to the left, hand comes together. And on the inhale, that right arm will come behind you and into the twist. So again, you may want some extra support, maybe under the knee or the back arm, just finding what support you might like for this side. And again, we'll be here for 3 minutes. Getting into the sensation in the side of the body. Exhale, softening into the floor. An invitation in this last pose to begin to come to count your breath. So as you inhale, you can count 1, and then exhale. The next inhale, counting 2, allowing for the exhale, and continuing all the way up to 20. Nice. From here, you can release any breath counting practices. And slowly draw that right knee back to center. And we're going to send our legs long into your Savasana. So coming into your final resting pose here. So you may want that support underneath the knees. Maybe you might like a blanket for warmth. Just taking your time to set yourself up however you feel most cozy and most supported. From there, you can come to lie down. You could even be on your side or legs up the wall, really, whatever feels best for you. Coming to settle in, just allowing yourself to get comfortable. Again, finding stillness and closing down through the eyes. Here I'm going to do a little scan of the body. So we'll begin at the head. Noticing the head in contact with the floor. And as you exhale, allowing the face, forehead to relax, the head to become heavier onto the floor. And then coming down to the shoulders, noticing where they contact the floor and allowing them to soften down. And now we'll bring the awareness into the left arm. Noticing where it touches the floor and allowing it to become heavier. Yeah. Bringing your attention to the right arm. And noticing it touching the floor and allowing it to relax into the floor. And coming to notice the back in contact with the floor. With the exhale, allowing the back to become heavier to the floor. Coming to notice the hips in contact with the floor. Exhaling, allowing those hips to become heavier. Coming down into the legs, noticing either the knees, if you have some support under the knees, or perhaps the calves on the floor. Allowing the legs to relax into the floor. And then noticing the heels on the floor. Allowing the heels and the whole of the feet to relax into the floor. And the whole body to relax. Allowing ourselves these next 3 minutes to rest in Shavasana. Nothing to do. And from here, you can slowly begin to deepen your breath. Bring the breath down into the belly, the awareness back into the body. Inviting a little bit of movement into the body. You might like to turn the head side to side, release the neck. And begin to just bring a bit of movement into the fingers, to the toes. Just taking your time. So you might want to stretch through the arms, through the legs. And if you feel ready, either squeezing the knees to the chest or placing the feet onto the floor or bolster. And we'll bring some movement of the knees side to side, just adding some movement into the hips, into the lower back again. And when you're ready, we'll slowly roll onto one side. Just take your time here, just take a couple of breaths. Soaking in the yin feeling. And whenever you're ready, we'll slowly make your way up to seated and finish class off seated together. In your time, just finding a comfortable seat. Taking a moment seated with the eyes closed, just notice how you feel. Together, we're going to take one deep breath. So to prepare, we'll exhale, empty the air. We'll inhale through the nose. And open the mouth, exhaling. Before returning to your natural breath, we'll take hands together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. And here, inviting a moment of gratitude for each other, for our breath, and our bodies, and the practice of Yin Yoga. Stay.